Okay, hi. We're starting a new podcast channel. There's not enough of those, right? And we still have no clue what we're gonna call it, what it's gonna be like. It's going to be mostly for us to practice our, speaking skills, more or less. I think
To
like
get out of our comfort zone,
yeah, right. Get
more
out
or
of our
less.
comfort zone, and I think over time though, I think this might even be watchable. But I'm sure like in the very beginning,
In the
maybe
very
it's not.
beginning, it will be
Like
cringy and mostly improvised.
yeah, it will be. But if there's a random viewer out there, maybe stick around. Maybe it's gonna be fun. Like this is definitely an improvisation. We have a few topics here, but it's going to be fun to try this out. And yeah, so basically we have no idea how this is gonna look like, and just a little introduction about ourselves. I think there's more people that we will be including here today. It's only the two of us, but we're both studying computer science, or more precisely informatics if you're in Europe, and it's kind of the same thing. Like I feel like it's in Europe, it's mostly a synonym for computer science.
Yes,
Like
right.
yeah, it's like do you remember what we were precisely learning about the differences between them? They were kind of vague. I mean,
Yeah, but the main structure of our curriculum is mostly different than those overseas. So I think
Yeah.
that's the main difference. More like it's not in the name as in what we do. So
right.
I think it's just the structure, but mostly it's all the same. I think.
So, like, what would you say are the differences in what we are studying and what people are studying abroad in computer science?
So I think abroad there's more projects. Here,
project,
yeah, I think here it's most. It's not theory, but it's how do you say it?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of theory. Like, studying for tests and
Not only that, but the theory of business and how we should approach how should we approach projects and how should we do how should we work with our business more than just computer science.
yeah, true. We have those, yeah. But wait, are you serious? So, like, people abroad have more projects, like in general.
I think
except for the business
I
part.
think it's more focused on building and on coding and on problem solving and research. Here it's more like how to start with a startup, where to go, what should you do, what are good practices, and then some, because when you look at our curriculum, half of our subjects are mostly theory based, and the other half is more or less practice and put that into real work. So I don't know how you saw that, how you see that, but yeah.
Well, that reminds me. There's this degree called business informatics.
Yeah, and that's
but it's
exactly what it's.
Really, that's what we
yeah,
have.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly the one we have. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's kind of, I guess, computer science, but like if you compare the computer science degree here in Rijeka, it's not like I know they're doing more of the technical stuff, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to study there either, because it's like, again, it's like a lot of math and
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
right.
math that you kind of don't need. Like it's like you need math if you're gonna specialize in
Yeah,
algorithms, but a lot of people aren't, and
I
I'm
see.
like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
like maybe a little too much of that. I think like even computer science degrees specifically in abroad have more projects than our computer science students. Like that's sort of because if I compare generally the way that education works in maybe all of Eastern Europe compared to, I don't know, Western Europe, I guess there's a more of a focus on just studying for tests, and a lot of this
Yeah.
memorizing and less practical work.
To be fair, I really didn't check out many other faculties, but I don't know. Just by watching and looking on the internet on what people are saying, I see what you're saying, but I don't know. I
Hmm.
think they're doing more practical stuff, but yeah, also just studying to memorize, and
Yeah.
I find that to be a big problem to us because we should learn how to apply our knowledge instead of just shout things
Right.
inside us like.
I mean, because if you compare, like, okay, we've been studying this degree that we're getting for 2 years, and if we were working for 2 years, the amount of knowledge we would have by now is much greater than we do.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I think that knowledge will be more focused on.
right. It's gonna be
Focus
more.
on one, yeah, more specific on one field.
Yeah.
And
We're getting a bit more broad.
yeah,
here.
yeah, maybe a bit too broad.
Yeah, maybe a bit too broad. I was talking to somebody involved with the university not that long ago, and she said something along the lines of maybe like 10 or 15 years ago when our students were going to Copenhagen to work. They weren't actually. I mean, I think that's a bit overboard, but they weren't like they didn't like the degree that we were getting at this university. They were like, "Oh, what is this? It's too broad. Like, you're doing databases, and then you're doing business, and then you're doing C++ and then this and that." And they were like, I don't want to. They didn't want to count that as a legitimate degree. I don't think it's like that today, but it used to be like that 10 or 15 years ago, and I think maybe it is a bit too broad at our university.
I kind of get what they're trying to do because I think the biggest problem is that there are not enough people. So specializing in one field will be like indoctrinating some guys to do a specific field. This way, like they try to get as much subjects, as much topics as possible they can, and then leave the rest to you. When I don't know in Eastern countries where there are more people, where there are more courses, you get to choose what you want to specialize on. They promised to us four different courses. We got two. That's still better than nothing, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, they are understaffed. I mean, when you
Yeah.
compare.
And not only that, we don't have enough people joining the universities. We're like
Right.
80 to 50 people a year. That's not enough to open like 5 to 8 courses, different courses,
Right.
so in different fields.
Right. Yeah, I was also noticing Croatians actually go to university less than they do in other countries. But like, if you compare, like, when you start working and when you already specialize, I wonder if that's such a bad thing because a lot of people go to university, they don't like it. I think for a lot of people it would be a better idea to just start working than go to university. I mean,
But we have the freedom of public universities where
true.
we don't
fair
actually
enough,
we don't actually pay for those. So
well, you pay for it with taxes later.
yeah,
on.
that's
I
true.
mean-
That's true. But
Yeah.
I mean, you don't rack up that as soon as you
Yeah.
finish school. So I
Yeah.
think
It's like
that's
a
an advantage we have. I think people should try, but at the same time, if you're just willing to go just to go, then maybe don't.
Yeah.
But you studied in Denmark. How
Okay.
is it any different? Is it?
Right. So I extrapolated my.
Sorry to interrupt you. We're talking from Croatia, so I don't know if we said that in
Yeah, I don't think we
so
did. Yeah, we're Croatian. We're in Croatia. So like in Rijeka.
Yeah, so that's why
we're
we're
students.
comparing different countries, different
So
studies.
yeah, so I extrapolated my when I was talking about thinking that Western countries have more focus on actual projects. I was kind of extrapolating on my high school, but at the same time, my high school was an international high school. It wasn't exactly a Danish high school.
Okay.
So it's a bit different. But okay, so I went to, I was born here, I went to school here, and then somewhere in high school, in the first grade or so, I just moved to Denmark. And so I did the rest of my education there. and I went to this IB thing, International Baccalaureate, and that's like the largest international school in the world, and we actually have it opened here in Rijeka now as well. It
Really?
only existed in Zagreb, but yeah, the degree is now available in Prvaljenička gymnazia, I think.
Oh, okay.
So like, but it's you have to pay for it. So usually it's a private gymnasium, a private high school, it's private education. But in Denmark, even private education is subsidized, so you don't have to pay for that either. And it's but you know, like it's questionable whether that's a good thing. I mean, there's a reason why private schools exist, and that's, you know, sort of to have a sort of selection process for certain people if they want to pay more. I think, you know, there's something in that. But either way, like even in my school, yeah, it was like a different type of person that went there. It was harder than Danish high schools, but I honestly think it wasn't harder than Croatian high schools. Although that depends on what kind of person you are. So in our high school, if you look at the IB, there's a lot of focus on projects, but you have to be really good at like verbal communication and writing, and memorization is less pronounced than it is in Croatian schools.
Okay,
but
yeah.
there are people who are very good at memorizing but aren't that good at the kinds of things we were doing. And so the question of whether it was harder or not depends on what kind of person you are. And I really struggle with memorization and constant work that I would have to put in. So Croatian schools are in particular bad for my type of learning.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't that IB was
So the transition from Denmark to Croatia wasn't that easy. Or?
Well, yeah, it was harder. Like, I had the ability to choose subjects in my high school, which, you know, I never liked math, and so I took the easiest level possible, which was it was a total joke. I mean, there were some people who struggled there. I mean, I think I had a 4. I think my final exam was a 4 out of how many, 7? So that's like a middle grade.
Yeah,
it's a middle. I mean, I didn't struggle per se, but I don't think I studied even like a couple hours the entire time. You know, it's basically like calculator. You know, you just do stuff on the calculator, and you know, if you just paid attention in class, that would be enough. I didn't even do that, but you know, like then I just came here to this degree, and it was like.
And you continue the trend.
Right, and it was like, I was kind of stuck at, I don't know, first or second year of high school, and I just came here, and I was like, holy crap, I was like, that's kind of hard. But, you know, with Dorian's help, you know, he actually helped me. So, like, Dorian, I think will pretty much have an opportunity to interview him. To interview him, but yeah, you know, like, he studied physics, and so he knew math, and I was like, well, you know, you got to show me how to do this. I didn't know anything. And then, you know, the first time he helped me was like a 4-hour session, and I passed the first, colloquy. I don't know how you would say that, like a first major exam.
Midterm? I don't know.
Midterm.
Something
Okay,
like
I'm not sure what a midterm is, but it could be.
I think it's called midterm. But
yeah, possible.
I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on that.
Possible. And then there was the second midterm, which took twice as long, so it was like 8 hours. It was,
we were there for patience going into that.
Yeah, but you know, it kind of worked, and then everything went online, and so things changed a lot. I studied for myself for the first midterm, but the second midterm was like redacted since I'm still attending the university. But it was now I'm having mathematics 3, which, you know, it's. And
that would be, I don't know, that's what we're talking about differences in other curriculums. I think our math 3 is something like calculus 2. I'm not, or maybe I'm not really sure.
Yeah, okay, one thing I would just like to diverge here for a bit. Calculus is like maybe not what we should have been studying, because, you know, calculus is all right if you want to do some multimedia stuff, you know, but you know, I don't think you're gonna need that much calculus. And there was stuff like this, they were talking about this numerical algebra, and like they were saying, oh, that's a really good subject, we don't have it anymore, but they left all the calculus subjects, and I'm like, I mean, out of all the subjects that you could have given us for math,
the math in calculus applies much later in our careers. I don't know, so it's hard to even think about it. Like
Right.
the practical use of it is basically non-existent for our
Yeah.
poor peasants. So I don't know.
Yeah, and even so, like a lot of these things, you like if you're gonna use math in Python or something, you have these libraries and you know you just do the function. You don't have to precisely do the kinds of things we are doing. Like you look at the graph and you have to do the entire derivation this way or
Yeah,
derivative. Sorry.
But I do believe it enhances our logical thinking and I don't know problem solving skills. Not in the degree that you need a subject to do that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's more like we used to do calculus, so we're gonna continue to do it.
Yeah. Well, if you compare like the Danish school that I had, it was definitely like I did not feel what I felt in the first year of high school in Croatia. Like I felt way less workload in a sense, but definitely like a ton more projects, and I'm sure that some people will find that harder.
You said that's the biggest school.
Yeah, well, it's the largest international curriculum.
International.
It's not exactly the biggest school.
Cool.
The school itself was just like a Danish.
So how many students were there?
Well, in our class, we started with this thing called pre-IB. It was like that was made to adapt to the Danish system.
Okay.
So yeah, that was like different from IB. It wasn't exactly IB. So there we had two classes of about like, I don't know, 40 people, 30, 40 people. And then IB started and people changed. Some went away, some came in. And we had about 50 people in the class. So like there was 50 people in the class in the entire school. It wasn't the only IB school. There was another one. So that was in Copenhagen just itself. But yeah, it's a pretty small number of people when you look at just how many people there are, right? Yeah. And it was mostly like it was kind of like mostly Danish people, but it was also some people like me who emigrated or rather immigrated to Denmark, or people with generally international ties. They don't exactly just stay in one place. There was a lot of wealthy people, right? So and three of the people who went in our class actually went to Oxford, and that's a pretty big percentage. Some of those who didn't go are still living there and working in this. So like there's this girl who I knew, and she's like an investment banker or something. I was like, okay. I mean, like I think the way they get to these places is kind of mostly ties. A little bit of nepotism in some sense, but that's just how it is, and yeah.
But to come back to what I said, I think that if, for example, we had more students, more interest, a bigger population, I don't know, compared, you said 50 students, but let's give an example. If 100, 200, like in other universities, or even more, I don't know, thousands of students went in the same field that we studied, would have much more options and much more, the things we should study should be more concise and more how do you say it, more applicable to what we want to do. But I don't know, I got a bit lost here. So I think that with more students, the option to choose would be bigger. And
it would.
What I want to say.
Well, I mean, it would. I mean, there's definitely something to be said about the number of students, because there's going to be more money. Obviously, there's going to be more choice.
So it's a small population, and we have many different types of students. Like you said, maybe you don't like math. Maybe you like more to study and to learn, to memorize things. I don't know. If there were many students, they would have more choice, but I think that would be also more work, and then you had to find the gifted child, the gifted children that should go, I don't know, to specialize in the field they want to.
Yeah,
And I don't know, someone who may do some history, or I don't know, teachers. Right now it's, I don't know, it's too general. And they
Yeah.
work, they're trying to fit, they're trying to fit too many students in the same mold. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess the part of the problem is that we're in a small city, sort of. I mean, there's a lot of people with, from cities around the Rijeka, but if I think maybe Zagreb has more choice than we do. Like, I don't know, do they? I mean, I'm not too familiar. They should be. I mean,
I really don't know. I know only two universities out there,
Yeah.
Terze and Fer. I
Fer,
don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, but they're like, I think 400 to 600 students a year. They get like, I think 400 students a year graduate there. So they have a
well, that's quite a lot. Yeah,
yeah, they're a STEM factory.
Yeah,
They just put
yeah.
out STEM people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, I'm just wondering, like, okay, so given that they have that many people, do they have more choice?
I think not.
Damn.
I think not. I think they have like two fields. I think it's more computer science and software development, and on the other side like electrical engineering. But I'm not really sure, because we have the other university here in the city that we do not attend.
Okay,
I
then.
thought,
It's
they were-
worse than ours, I think, as far as I've heard.
but I think they have many options. Like
You think so?
yeah, but I'm not sure if for the bachelor's degree or for the master's degree. They have, I think, more options for the master's degree. Like they can specialize to field they want to. I'm not really sure. We can check later.
Maybe we can go to masters there.
That's also an option. That's also
Yeah.
that's also an option, because we have a couple of professors that work here in our university and down in the city.
Oh, okay.
And they also have ties with those professors, so they can.
Okay.
I heard a couple of students asked for help for their final project, and they said, a couple of professors said, "Yeah, that's not our field. We don't know how to help you, but we have a professor, our friend, who's down there, so maybe we can connect you with him." So yeah, we are like different, but we're not so far apart, I think.
Okay. Fair enough.
So yeah, you just reminded me to. I have to check.
Do you have to check?
Yeah, I have to check.
it.
I have to check now. Yeah, I need to see where I'm gonna study after my bachelor's degree.
Yeah. Well, it's
That's an option.
But I think now that you mentioned this, I think part of the problem is, okay, so we lack a lot of professors who are very specialized, and I think
Yes.
part of the problem is that Croatia is not wealthy, and so all of the people who are really, really ambitious move out, and there's two problems to generally the way the universities are, because first you have the ambitious people who want to have something on their own. They're very skilled in their craft, and so they don't want to study per se. They want to specialize. They want to do something, and so they're not going to be the ones who are going to be studying, even though they are most of the time the best people at the job.
Yes.
And then you also have the problem of if somebody is very ambitious and very very good at even research or generally the university work, again, they're probably not going to stay here because the pay is going to be much better in, I don't know, ETH, Zurich, or I don't know, some of these really big universities
Yes.
that are, and, I guess that kind of produces the problem where, the standards are kind of lower, and...
But not only the pay. You mentioned how much a professor can earn, but if you go to other university outside Croatia, they also have better resources, because
Right.
the country
Right, good
is richer. Let's
Right,
say richer, but they have much more research capabilities. Like they have, I don't know, talking out from a butthole right now. They have better computers. They have better scientific tools they can use. The academic research is much more developed outside
Right.
Croatia.
That's a very good point. Yeah. If you want to do research, you're probably not going to do it at our university.
Yes, we have the famous supercomputer Bura at our university, but we're not even using it. I think private companies are buying resources from us. We're not even using it for our own research. So,
Right. I would say that this all generally leads to this problem where you have this effect where all the good stuff gets even better, and
yes,
yeah, so
yes,
like you
true,
could explain it as the university inequality. There's the wealth inequality, there's the university inequality.
But
So,
let's
like-
be frank, we're also gonna go outside if we have the opportunity.
Well,
to go.
yeah, true.
I mean, it's nice
I mean,
here, but it's also nice outside when you have much more options.
Yeah. I think definitely it's a good idea to try these things out. I'm not sure I'm going to be living there. I think I might just as well return to live here.
Yeah.
But there's this like period where you're studying or you're working. There's definitely a point to be made about doing that outside. Though like even that I'm not saying from an altruistic perspective that's I don't encourage that per se because it's not necessarily going to do much.
Yeah,
But-
you're right. Even with the rise of remote work, you can work for outside companies in
Right.
Croatia.
You do
I know a
that.
couple of people who just graduated and they're already working for companies from outside Croatia. I don't know, from I think one from Australia. They don't even have a headquarters. They have like 200 employees,
Yeah.
and all the employees are working remote.
Yeah, I would love to do that. That's actually my sort of dream. But the problem with remote work is you really need to be good.
Yeah,
Like, you really need to be good. And
you need motivation. You need to have some. You have to have
you need
a well set routine. And,
right, and you need to be self-taught essentially.
Yes.
Although I guess all programmers are self-taught in some sense. Like
Yeah.
programmers, not people who study computer science, but like programmers, they all kind of have to do self-study because
We get taught to use the tools, and
right.
that's all there is to it. After that, it's all our work.
Exactly.
It's not like they're teaching us how to do apps. I don't know. They're
Right.
teaching us how to use the tools to do the apps.
Right,
Then
right.
You do it yourself. Learn how to do it.
Right, they're sort of giving a sort of an introduction to all these things, and if you want to do it, keep
Which
going.
I like and I don't like because it encourages us to work more. But on the other hand, it's like, when are you gonna stop introducing stuff to me, and when I'm gonna use the stuff that you introduced me to?
What do you call it? The tutorial. What is it? Tutorial hell or no?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Like how to get out of tutorial.
I think it's called tutorial hell. You
Something
just
like
keep learning.
Yeah,
learning,
and
and you never do any
Right.
project.
Right. That's. Oh my god. Yeah. But like what I was to get back on the point, what I was saying, what was it actually? Right, remote work and
Yes.
and
Self-taught.
yeah, self teaching. I mean, remote work is pretty great. It's just
It
there's
sounds
also the
great.
problem. There's also the problem of like well, I don't know. Like some people would describe their workplace as a pretty bad place. Like there's this competition and your coworkers aren't necessarily great. But on the other hand, like all these student jobs that I've been doing for the past year, except for legal, that was the one I didn't like. But the coworkers at these jobs are pretty great. Like I can say that I've learned a lot, and I like the people who I've met there. But maybe that's because it is a student job. There isn't competition per se. But I hear these horror stories about people working in these corporations, and everybody's everything's kind of stale. And,
Yeah.
I wonder, like, is that true?
And the classic, get out of your 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So like I'm wondering, because it's gonna be a pretty lonely job, right? If you do remote work.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Be,
I would like to have the option to choose.
yeah.
I don't want to work every day at the spot at the company, but also I don't want to constantly work remotely. I never tried it, so I can say how that would turn out, but I don't know. Having an option, I think it's better than saying someone no, you have to come to the workplace. No, you have to come, or stay at home. You have to work remotely.
Yeah.
When I don't know, if you lack concentration at home, I don't know, you might want to go to the workplace to get some help from your team. I don't know. I think we also need to learn how to cooperate with a team, because right now that's the hell we hear about in the story. So
right, lack of yeah. Although I mean, cooperation at work is pretty easy if you don't actually connect with people. But that's like if you just treat them as this thing that you have to work with. I mean, yeah, it's not gonna be that hard to cooperate, but it's just like that's not how you want to do things. Like you want to have a real connection with people when you're talking to them. So like I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. When you're remote, and if you want to ask your colleague, hey, I'm stuck here, maybe you know the solution, come help me out. I don't want to read the message. Maybe I do 90% of the time, because leave me alone, I want to do my job. But the other 10%, maybe I need that human input that says, oh yeah, you missed this spot.
Obviously, yeah. That's really helpful when you have coworkers that can, like, imagine the projects that we were working on. Every time, like, you would get a lot from this kind of joint effort. Somebody would notice some bug, or when Dorian would send like his program or something. You or I would see his bug or something, and then we'd tell him. Or when we were working on that JavaScript project, you told me about that function that I didn't know about. Like, that cut a lot of time off the work that I was supposed to do. So like these kinds of things are very helpful, especially in the beginning, because you need to essentially to work remotely. You need to be at the level where you're almost perfect in a sense.
Yes.
And
you can ask your coworkers for help. I don't know, on Slack or something.
Well, true, but that's
not the same. I'm not saying. Maybe I like that more. I don't know if you're introvert or extrovert. Depends on the person. But sometimes you need that extra input from your coworker, or some extra joint effort that you can do at the workplace rather than at home. I don't know, because almost like getting ready for the job and going to the workplace is giving you energy to do stuff, and waking up, taking out your laptop and staying in a pajama and trying to work is not.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah.
The motivation you have the level of motivation is much lower.
Yeah, which reminds me, we were talking about work. So like, you are doing this thing where you basically. You drive people on boats, or like on your seasonal.
Oh yeah,
work?
my seasonal it's completely different from my study field.
Yeah.
but it pays good. So I have a license to drive boats, and I don't know if you ever saw, but it's just the workplace is open only in the summer when there are tourists, because most of our government income is tourism. So
it's like 30%. It's 30% of our GDP.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
So I drive this boat around, and I drive people on these tubes, bananas, couches, and it's like entertainment. It's like going on a roller coaster, but not that.
Do you get to go with them, like in?
No, I just put them on the inflatables, and then I drive them around. So the rope is tied to a boat.
Okay, so it's like that. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Well, do you find the job physically exhausting? Like,
yes, working on an open sea, it's hard, man. It really drains your energy at the end of the day. The waves. When I first started, you go in a bathroom, you sit, or I don't know, you sit at a restaurant, or you go to eat something out. You sit down, and everything is spinning around you because you worked like 8 to 10 hours on the sea, and it's constant waves, constant motion.
So
You
the waves
sit
are.
down, yeah. You sit down, and the whole room is spinning
Yeah.
around you, like you're drunk or something like that. But not only that, but salt, sun, high temperatures,
Yeah.
and those constant waves that drives you insane sometimes.
Damn. So, but keep what we're saying. Like,
It's the job is demanding, but at the end of the day, it's really fun because I don't know. I like this. I like bringing when I drive around, for example, I drive around a family with, I don't know, two parents bring their kids, they put them on board, you drive them slow, then you go faster, then you see them smiling, and you bring them back, and it's nice to have that how do you say it? To see that feedback, like, yeah, thank you very much, sir, thank you. It's how do you say? It's rewarding. It's kind of rewarding. It's not only the pain, but working with those people, and you have a team around you also that works with you, and so
you have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah. You have a lot of fun. It's really demanding. Sometimes you're just exhausted. You don't want to talk with anybody. You say, yeah, I know you have fun, but please don't talk to me. But
yeah.
on the other hand, I don't know. It's really fun.
Well, I was thinking, like, considering that I will go an extra year to university, like, I was thinking of actually, trying to apply for, because I didn't manage this summer.
Yes.
But maybe next summer, like, just to try, obviously to try out, like, and not quit, but, like, to get that kind of experience, because I haven't worked that kind of job before.
So we also have other positions. We don't.
Right, I didn't mean that precisely. I don't have even the license. I meant,
but
like,
I think from this summer, they're also gonna offer place to stay, so you don't have to find that yourself and pay that yourself. So I don't know, that's also a plus, I think. And usually we worked well without days off, but
right, obviously,
because we're under underemployed, so there's not many people working there. It was hard to find, so we had to work a couple of extra hours. But yeah, now you're gonna have more free days. You're gonna have to work less, which is finally.
Really.
And then you're gonna have to.
I was actually looking forward to this, like, challenge, like this really challenging.
It's gonna be challenging. I'm not saying it will not, but you will have more rest. And when you're just coming there to work with, I don't know, 5 or 6 days a week, you have the other 2 days and half a day off to go on the beach, to enjoy the city, to enjoy you have so many things to do. It's just, you have a whole summer to work and enjoy. It's like that thing where we wanted to try. I don't know if you remember, like, work and travel.
Yeah, I do remember.
I heard a lot of people saying that, yeah, they worked there, but I don't know, they worked like 1 or 2 months, and the third month they just traveled around the USA. I think
I guess
it will not be the same experience, because there's a big difference between the USA and Croatia, but you'll get to experience, I don't know, the Istria country and all the things.
You just reminded me of that work and travel thing. God damn it.
Yeah, it's.
You just reminded me of that.
It sounds exciting, and plus we don't have to. We don't need a visa anymore to go to America.
You wanted to go this year, right? Because COVID is, like, kind of.
I wanted to go the year that COVID hit, and then because COVID hit and all the, I don't know if you remember the riots. It was not a smart move to go with that. And I probably think we would also get denied. So, but I think it's a good option to go. Because with students, they're gonna let us go in.
That's actually more of an adventure, right?
Yeah,
I mean, right? You're going in a completely different country, and
on a completely different continent, man.
Yeah.
Across the sea, not knowing anybody or anything.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah,
adventurous.
that's actually quite a lot more adventurous. Maybe I should consider that. Because I have more time now. I gave up on half the subjects.
I know,
I have more time now to think about these things.
But you can also choose to go to the Erasmus. I heard you also have the Erasmus Plus. I didn't know that. You get a certain amount of money. I don't know. You have a budget, and you go 7 days, and that's
7 days.
And you go, I don't know, where they do. They organize a couple of events. You go there 7 days. I don't know.
You get the money, or you have to pay yourself.
I think they pay you the travel tickets. They pay you to stay at the
rest
hotel.
is yours.
And you get 20 euros a day.
Well, it's not that bad. I mean, it's actually pretty good.
If you want to go shopping, of course you're gonna need.
Well,
more
why are you
than
gonna go
20.
shopping?
But I don't know. I think 20 euros is pretty fair.
Yeah, just for food and a little bit of like socializing. That's 7 days. It's not like you can do that much in 7 days.
But you can experience you can experience the Erasmus. I don't know. I thought of first going to Erasmus Plus, and if I like it, then try Erasmus.
When is that?
You have to. I don't know.
Yeah, we have to. Okay, we have to.
We have to check. Yeah. I think there are many dates. Maybe you can go right now. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. So okay.
But I would not go right now. I like when the weather is.
Yeah.
When it's a bit warmer,
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I just got reminded to change the topic a bit. So you have this like enormous housing for a computer, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So like what is this housing? Okay. So like be quiet.
Yeah, it's a bit quiet.
It's a be quiet. Yeah, I guess you can't see it on it. It's like enormous. It's like the biggest housing I've ever seen. It's like it's okay. So it's this long. It's this long and what like.
It's a Dark Race Pro 900, I think, something like that. But I bought it second hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got it pretty cheap. It's heavy as shit, man. I thought of maybe changing it up because transferring from one place to another is pretty tedious and it's annoying. It gets annoying. But on the other hand, I upgraded so many times, or I changed something inside so many times, and I just have space to do that. I don't know if I buy any other case or housing, I will get, I don't know, it will get pretty clustered pretty quick.
Yeah.
And also the company called Be Quiet. There's a reason to that. They put
it's very quiet.
Yeah, they put insulating foam.
Okay.
Inside the case. So.
Okay.
And not only that, you get some. How do you call them? I think it's like rubber bearings or something like that. So all the screws don't do sounds like click and clang, but.
Okay. Nice.
They thought of that.
Well, so like the idea behind this enormous housing was like be prepared for the future where things are going to change.
Yeah, because I don't know. I had an idea of. Everybody has an idea of startups. So you also thought, well, maybe I want a stronger computer. I don't know how demanding is the job I need to do. So getting myself a cheap case right now when I have the opportunity. Because if you see right now, if I wanted to buy something like this now in this.
Yeah.
In these times when the crypto market is booming. I think I would pay.
Well, it's not booming anymore, or it's stagnating right now.
I think it's stagnating, but yeah. Okay, if you wanna get the technologies, or I don't know, if you wanna get anything tech related, any devices, it's gonna be pretty expensive. But that's not just because of crypto. There's also the resources that they cannot get from Asia.
So, okay, we can quickly talk about crypto. I know people talk about that a lot. It's like, there's so much, unfortunately.
We did a project on crypto.
Yeah, we did. We actually won we had this competition in our year university, and these projects that we would sort of plan out. If we were to make a startup, that's how our project would look like.
What's
So
your
like-
business plan? What
Right.
do you have to do? What's your competition? How are you gonna enter the market? What
Right.
you gonna do? And so
And we won. We won from the entire class. We won.
Even
Yeah.
with competition like Coinbase and Binance,
Yeah.
we won. We won.
Yeah, we won. We you know, have you heard about our product, YBs?
Nah. But jokes aside, we learned about a lot about crypto, and also in the same semester we had what is it called, securities and something like that.
Yeah, we learned about like what steps to take to make your user, essentially your users secure and
Yeah,
safe.
so we broadly talked about crypto also, and then we had an idea. Everybody, we should try something. We should learn about it. Then you go online and you see, oh, you cannot learn about it that much. There's a lot of opinion-based topics and not much technical stuff that you can learn about it.
Very little. Like it's hard to get into the technical stuff.
Yes,
so,
yes,
like,
and so
really
we
hard.
sparked the idea because it's hard to with the SEO of Google and everything. You get pretty quickly to pages run by scammers. So we said that's by the idea. Well, there's not a product that can help that. Let's make an app that will help people learn about crypto and not get scammed. And we did the idea. We did the business plan of that app, and we won.
Yeah, we won. Yeah, and that was we didn't expect to win. I mean, we were just kind of. I mean, maybe you did. You were.
At the start I did. Then I saw other projects. Then I saw.
And then you're like, oh no way.
There's no way we're gonna win with that. There's no way we're gonna win with this thing.
But then apparently it was the presentation that carried. Like, we had this presentation that was impressive and, sort of attractive. And
yes.
So
yes.
like
We did a lot of technical stuff. We
were good on the technical stuff as well.
yeah. So that helped a lot. But other people were more based on their ideas and I don't know the business part or something.
Well,
like
more
that.
the management part, or I guess. Well, it depends on the group, obviously.
Yes,
there were some
of
groups
course.
that were more sort of tidy and organized and had perhaps a greater plan. Some had better ideas that were easier to implement.
Yes.
But ours somehow, still won.
So you
because-
wanted to get back to the topic. Sorry. So you wanted to talk about crypto.
Well, crypto. I mean, I guess there's not much to be said about it at this point. Like
Yeah,
it's
we're pretty related to the party.
yeah, right. I mean, okay. I guess generally to talk about crypto, I'm starting to think. It's been such a long time. I don't think it's going to actually be used as a currency. I think it's
You don't?
well.
I don't know if you heard that EU Consum is introducing that.
Well, it's going to be like. Well, first of all, these things are happening very slowly. It might introduce, but even if it
True,
does,
true.
I think if you look at the vast majority of people, how they treat cryptocurrency even now is like more like gold. Like in the sense that whenever you have an economic crisis,
I mean Bitcoin is trying to replace gold. That's,
sorta, yeah.
That's the whole point about
Right.
the how do you say that, the limited quantity and
Right.
everything. But
it's like digital gold, and I guess that has like it's difficult then to really trust the currency per se. I mean, okay, like gold, the price of gold jumps whenever there's an economic crisis because people are putting their money in gold. They're like, okay, well, fiat money
You're right.
generally like our currencies are going to be inflate, and it's better to just sort of have this backup in gold. But then when these economic crises perceptibly end, then it just sort of goes down.
You're
like,
right. I don't
like-
see people jumping on Bitcoin when a crisis hits right now. Not anytime soon. Maybe one day, but
No, actually, no. I'm saying they are jumping in Bitcoin because they think there's going to be a crisis.
oh,
Like
I didn't thought about that.
because like I don't think most people are even using it as more like a currency, but more like a backup sort of.
Yeah,
Because
asset, so.
I don't know if you look at again like it jumped the price of Bitcoin jumped after COVID, right? At
When
50, 60.
when I think it jumped when America when the USA introduced the how do you call the $600 a month or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
So the stimulus check.
The stimulus check.
So yeah, see that's part of it. Like inflation crisis, people are like, oh, maybe I should put my savings into Bitcoin, or it has a future. Like people are not trusting, the monetary policies of our.
It's hard to
countries.
take it seriously. Yeah, I don't know. It's
crypto.
yeah.
In some sense.
Right now at this moment before the big jump, and it was more like, ooh, something might happen. I don't know. It will take some time, but when when that boom happened, I don't know, with all the memes, with all the influencers talking about now all the rag pulls that are coming out with, I don't know, crypto and NFTs, it's hard to take it seriously. I don't know.
Right. I agree.
To be fair and transparent, I am invested in crypto, but I don't have a lot of it. No, but just to be fair, I kind of do believe that in that, but I also don't, because I don't know, it's not enough people are working on it, and not enough people know about it.
Or treat it serious.
Or treat it seriously, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I mean, shitcoins are getting pumped out daily.
Yeah.
Every day there's a new shitcoin. And now every day there's a new type. I don't even know what an NFT is, man. I tried so many times to understand it, but everything pointed to scam. I don't know. I see a use in it. I don't know if you remember when I told you that if an artist drops, I don't know, 50 or something photos or that you can buy, and you get in that exclusive group because you have the NFT. But other than that, I don't see why.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, NFTs are kind of difficult, but they run on Ethereum, right?
Well, I think they run on an Ethereum blockchain. Yeah.
Yeah.
That it's also hard to understand Ethereum. It's trying to be that digital blockchain platform where you can build apps on.
Yeah. The thing about
it's hard to explain that to people. I don't know, when you're not into that field, they don't care. They see the price go up. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. The price goes down. Yeah, I'm gonna sell it. They don't care. What they see it as a stock. But even stocks are more complicated than they seem, but they treat it more like, I don't know, like gold. I can buy gold and I can sell gold.
Well, I think they're not even treating it as gold. At least those kinds of people. I think they're treating it as like get rich quick money, like forex trading or something. Like
True.
I mean,
yeah, but people are seeing. I think they're seeing Bitcoin and crypto just as gold. I mean, you can buy gold and you can say gold. Other than that, what are you gonna use gold for?
Oh, you mean that in that sense? Definitely, yeah.
They don't see it as a blockchain. It's a decentralized platform.
Yeah.
No one cares about it.
There's this thing. I forgot what the principle, not the principle, but like the phenomenon was called. But the thing about shitcoins. So obviously, the vast majority of them are completely useless.
They're not
even
they're not gonna have use cases.
Part of that reason is that they don't offer anything, in the sense that, okay, what do they offer in comparison to Bitcoin? Nothing, right? They're just another version of Bitcoin, and so they're essentially doomed because they don't offer anything. And Bitcoin has that thing of like everybody's in already, and it has this price, and it's kind of more stable. So like all these other coins are essentially definitely a waste of time by definition. The problem is if Bitcoin gets replaced by, I don't know, Ethereum or something, it's very likely that neither Ethereum will then last because something else will replace it with different and better, perhaps. Like you can see it as social media, right?
When I look at the top 10, top 10 crypto coins.
Yeah.
The thing is, they all, not all, but most of them offer different features. Let's call them features. They all offer different things. When you look at shitcoins,
Yeah,
they don't have a use case.
Yeah.
Nothing is gonna happen with that.
Yeah.
When you look at Ethereum, I don't know, Ethereum Classic, Cardano, Polkadot, I don't know, the introduction of those smart digital contracts or something like that. I don't want to talk about much of that because I don't know much about the topic, but they offer something that may help in the future. But yeah, the shitcoins, as you said, why even have those? I mean,
Yeah.
they're just made to be rug pulls, nothing else.
Right, because like if you look at what things have value is something that they can offer to people. By definition, shitcoins cannot offer anything. So
yeah.
they don't have a future. But what I wanted to say is like you can treat crypto like social media in some sense. So Bitcoin is like the first big social media, like Facebook,
MySpace. But
MySpace. Okay,
I wasn't. Yeah.
Okay, it should be even sooner. But okay, let's say it's not exactly like social media started.
But yeah,
let's say
Facebook.
Suppose that Bitcoin gets replaced. Then Facebook replaced MySpace, but now Facebook is getting replaced, and I think that's kind of the point. Like if Bitcoin gets replaced, I think crypto there isn't going to be like a single cryptocurrency. It's going to be kind of replaced continually for a while, until it sort of settles.
We're gonna have more cryptocurrencies. I don't think Bitcoin. We have a lot of crypto, not in that sense, but we're gonna have uses for different type of currencies, like. I don't know. It's down to say like euros and dollars and kunas because that's a bit different, but you will have the opportunity to use different cryptocurrencies for different things.
Okay,
that's how I see it. But
I mean that's what social media is as well.
I don't see that I don't see crypto as an important thing. I think that we should push forward to. I don't know. I don't see.
Yeah, well, it's not. Yeah. The original idea of this idealistic dream was like, like governments can't control you and you have some freedom.
Decentralized platform. Well, there's no banking in between you. There's no inflation. Right. That's
but it doesn't really work like that because first of all, it's digital, right? So like, for starters, you need electricity, and they can just shut off your electricity if they want to. I mean, or even more like I remember reading about this maybe like 2 years ago. I don't know what the state of it is now. It's probably that didn't really get worse, but I don't know, like almost 50% of all Bitcoin mining was like in these like one or two pools or something. Yeah. And I was like, I mean, technically
I don't know the numbers, but I know most of those mining facilities are concentrated in a specific area. I think on Eastland or something like that.
I remember hearing China, but it's
also.
Yeah. So yeah, Iceland, China. I mean, these are the thing is like nobody even treats crypto with that in mind in some sense. Like nobody's like, anonymity or something. They're like, when's the price gonna go up?
Yeah. I can buy it, I can sell it. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna you will be able to transfer to someone across the world. Yeah, they don't care right now. They really don't.
I guess this continually keeps happening with all these internet things. Like at the beginning you have these enormous expectations and everything is great at the beginning, just like the internet for instance. And then things just kind of go down. They just kind of stagnate and they go in the direction that you didn't think they would. Like, the internet was supposed to be this game-changing thing, but it's sort of like it didn't really change society all that much. Like, okay, it did change certain types of people, but everything is mostly the same. Like,
you think it didn't?
Well, like everybody's still like.
I think of it like, the most influential thing that happened to us. I don't know because
it is.
We're now dependent on. We cannot live without it.
Definitely, it is. Relatively speaking, it was a game changer. But when you look at how human culture has changed.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, it has changed.
It gave the voice to some wrong people, let's say. But
it changed. No, but I would say not even that. actually happened. It's like things are mostly you mostly still have the authoritative sources. You know, the information is still mostly being disseminated like from the same few sources. Like the New York Times, maybe not many people read it online as they used to read the newspapers, but all the influential people read the New York Times and have the similar opinions, and they distill that through social media. And it's like, you know, things didn't really change. People are still, you know, signaling through social media. They take pictures of themselves, I don't know, wearing fancy clothes or something, and they're still doing the same thing that they were maybe like 30 years ago, except now it's like on pictures and instead of mostly in real life. And you know, people are still you know, there isn't this great decentralized information resource that, you know, everybody's joining, and these forums are like full of free thinking. It's mostly like people are like checking Facebook or something. That's internet for most people, and you know.
So it's just binge watching videos.
Yeah, but like watching Netflix or something, and you know, I guess that's not the vision that people had when they thought the internet. And I think that kind of happened to crypto as well. And you know, it's like all these internet projects are generally related to the internet. I don't know, they just kind of get stuck in this place where, you know, they were supposed to be transformative, and they didn't do that.
Help society to go in a certain direction, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I guess society is a lot more stable than we think.
We'll see with time what happens with Bitcoin. I don't know. I kind of do believe in cryptos, but right now I'm so off put by all the shit that's going on. I mean, they just scams over scams over scams over scams.
Yeah,
it's just like makes you, when someone outside that never heard about it and just goes online and all they can see is scams over scams, they're like, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, I believe in it, but not as everybody wants to believe in it. I do think it will help us, but not that much. I mean, I just have another method to pay somebody, and that's it.
Yeah. I wonder why. I guess like, well, for starters, okay, unrelated to what I was about to say, like, crypto almost reminds me of like Forex trade. Like when I hear somebody being a Herbalife, you know, what are they called, like sellers or something, or Forex trader or crypto, like what are they, trader again? Like it just doesn't sound good. Like, there's a lot of fraud.
It sounds like a pyramid scheme. it really does. I mean,
crypto,
multi-level marketing.
Yeah. Do you mean crypto or
crypto?
Well,
it sounds like
I guess in some sense, like you make people buy the crypto, and then you already had bought it at the lower price, and so your price generally. I guess there's a point to be made about that. But
I don't want to compare it to that. I mean, I'm just joking around. Don't take it seriously. But
it's not exactly, because there's too much money in crypto for it to be able to be like that. But you know, then there's other things that we mentioned here that could be. We knew a person once, and you know, like
it doesn't end well. Never ends well.
But you know, like guys, if you want to get fit, you know, just start working out.
And that's
drink
all.
Protein.
All the reason about it.
But you know, you know, like, you know, I guess like things are kind of like complicated, right? The world is complicated.
I guess it is. Do you think the crypto, all the crypto stuff, and with the combination of Corona, let's not talk about Corona especially, but I don't want to talk
that's
about
kind of also like,
but just to put it in context, do you think the combination of Corona, the staying at home, and the crypto boom will bring something that's is similar to the .com bubble that happened in 2000?
Well, I think if you look at a lot of metrics, I think generally the stock market is inflated way like beyond what its actual value is, and so I think you can conclude that the same thing is happening to crypto as well. But you know, this kind of crash or even to money itself, like But this kind of crash or whatever, you can't predict that. Like people have been saying this for a long time, and it didn't happen. I mean, we had that economic crisis in 2008, but I think it's very hard to predict these things. I don't know. I definitely just know that things are not well. That like we're in a bubble of sorts, and I don't know when it's gonna burst and how it's gonna burst. The longer it doesn't burst, the worse. Because the more time passes, the more you're just putting things on your shoulders, right? I mean, like, if you imagine what happened in 2008 with the housing market, like, it was this thing that was happening for years and years and years where people were just giving out, like, really cheap credit. And, they were getting all these, like, houses and stuff, and nobody was thinking like, okay, is this actually going to be paid back? Like they were all buying houses, and all of a sudden nobody wanted to. Sorry, they were all selling. Was it selling or buying? Nobody. Okay, right. They were all selling. They bought the houses and then they sold them, and they were like, okay, nobody wants to buy this, and because the price was inflated because everybody was thinking like, buying housing is going to be such a great investment project because look how high the price is, and it's just growing. And then everybody bought it, and it was like nobody was left to really buy what they were selling, and they were like, oh shit. And
with the combination of loans,
right, and then it just went down. And so it's similar to this, where it's like people are buying, there's like, oh, crypto's growing, stocks are growing, this, that, and like, well, there's probably gonna be a point where this isn't going to work out.
I also believe that whoever needed to lose their money, they lost it in these 2 years. I don't know. It seems to me that way. I don't know. All the
fair, like we had that kind of crash not that long ago. Like things just went down.
Kind of. Then that just got rid of the.
But we're definitely in the COVID bubble because
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's very hard to say. We only started with the inflation.
It's kind of scary to think about it, so I don't want to really think about it right now. But
okay, it's not gonna be disastrous. Like
I hope not.
Okay, if it happens now, that's gonna be great.
We're gonna take a hit. I mean, we stay at home for how long? I don't know.
Yeah, like basically for a year.
Exactly. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
The sooner it happens, the better. Because, you're just postponing things. You know how it is when you postpone things. It just gets worse. Just
put it under the rug. And
but, okay, suppose they happen now. I mean, it wouldn't be that bad. Okay, your income would be like 20% lower, and that's it. I mean, you could deal with that. Some people would have some bigger consequences from that, especially the poorer they are.
I'm not gonna lie, but the prices in the shops, they're things to buy are not really cheap anymore. I mean,
right,
when you go buy the groceries, the prices may surprise you. I mean,
right. Okay, I definitely agree.
Even with the pay we have right now, I don't. That's what scares me, because right now all the prices are up, way up.
Right.
Gas prices, groceries. The basic stuff you need to buy on.
Yeah, that's what I meant by 20%. I mean, I pulled that out of nowhere, but how much of your money actually goes to groceries? I mean, not that much. So maybe like, I don't know, a third. It depends obviously on how much.
Yeah, of course.
But okay, suppose that groceries are twice as expensive. Well, a third goes to your expenses, so like now it's gonna be maybe I don't know, a fifth or something. Well, it's basically they're gonna be lower, but sorry, not a fifth, 50%. But I mean, it's going to be bad, but it's not going to be this disaster where we're living in Zombie City or something.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely.
So there's no reason to really be scared. I mean, there's reason to be afraid of missing out on maybe things you could be buying.
Now, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
and that's definitely a fair thing to lament, but it's not scary per se. It's more like, oh well, I'm not going to be able to afford all these things, but unless you're really worried whether you're going to be able to afford maybe living in this apartment or something, I mean, no reason to really be scared, I think. But there might be a much worse crash if nothing happens for the next 20 years or something. Like then it's going to be like, if it crashes for 20 years, it's going to crash to the point where, the fall of the Roman Empire or something. Okay, maybe not. But, like,
The fall of society.
Yeah, well, it's bad because we're doing all these. Okay, I want to talk about this. Like, so for instance, saving. It's terrible to be saving in this economy. Your money is like
Okay, yeah.
and so you're disincentivizing
Just
saving.
getting eaten by inflation.
Yeah, and like, but people who save money are actually kind of good. Like, if you want to start a startup or something and you don't have money, actually, no matter how rich you are, you need some savings to start a startup. And so these are the kinds of people that we want to incentivize, but they're not able to because they're not able to save as efficiently. And like, what are we incentivizing? We're incentivizing just spending your money a lot and being a consumer. And economists are saying that's a good thing, but I'm like, is it? Like economists are not known to be very, very predictive of what is actually good for the economy or not. Otherwise, they would have predicted a lot of things by now. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't like this thing of not saving, because I want to save money, but right now my form of saving is like buying an expensive camera.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what's the point of
I don't
putting
know
money aside?
I don't know if you ever try to. I don't know. You take an average salary, and you start counting the money you're gonna put aside for putting in your savings every month.
Yeah.
And then you go and you sum that up for, I don't know, 5-7 years, and the amount of money you can earn by saving is not that much, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to think. I don't know. It's hard to say to people invest when it's not so easy, and on the other hand, I don't know. You cannot say to people, don't save. Incentivize them to spend, because what they're gonna live with, I don't know.
Okay, so you're saying maybe saving isn't even that good. Like, you're not gonna save that much.
Yeah, I do believe in saving. Yeah, I do believe really much in savings. But on the other hand, you cannot save really much.
Oh, so you mean like, maybe it's better to just do things along the way.
I do believe
than
you
just
need to
put it
have
aside.
A certain amount of money, or I don't know, assets that you're gonna save or something like that, and then a certain amount that you're willing to risk. I don't know, invest or something, because just with saving, you don't earn that much. You don't manage to save that much,
Right.
as people think they are, because it's not hard to calculate that. You just take an average salary. Let's say here it's an average salary of 1,000 euros or something like that. You put how much money aside?
Right.
I don't know. Let's say 400 euros. That's too much money to put aside. But you put it, I don't know, across 5-10 years, you cannot build a family with that.
Right. Okay. Fair point. Saving is definitely less efficient than actually investing in something that is going to bring income. That's definitely a fair point. And people just saving money, that's not good. And that's often the argument. We don't want people just saving money.
Yeah, and on the other hand, we don't also want people just just spending.
Right.
It's hard to be in the middle.
Right. So they're trying to find the middle by calculating how much they're going to bring more money, pump more money into the economy and stuff like that. And, fair enough. But suppose that, there's this thing called the Pareto distribution, which is like, I don't know, the 20% of people do 80% of the work or something like that. You know that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, okay, like, there's this percentage of people who are really, really productive, maybe like the 1% of the most productive people. And they do a lot of this, like, in I guess, innovative stuff. And I guess there's like a consideration to be made in a sense whether, like, them saving money is really good because they can't really stay still. They're going to invest it in something. But they still need some, sort of income, I guess you could say. And, I think those people should come into the consideration, even if they're just a small percentage of the population. Their contribution is kind of really great. And I guess people think in these like terms of like, what can we do? How can we make most people do transactions and stimulate the economy, but I don't think they stimulate the economy per se. I think it's the smaller number of people who actually stimulate the economy, because like if you look at things around this room, and if you look at even the picture on your wall, like from the camera that it was made from to the material that it was made from, most of it was made by machines. And when you look at it that way, you sort of get to the point where you're like, okay, well, what is our wealth? Where does our wealth really come from? And it comes from this technology. It comes from this automation. Because if you compare, like, the actual the products that we're using, most of it is through technology. And so there's a point to be made that as time goes further and we lose more need for manual labor, the people who are inventing this stuff, and this really small percentage of people, the Pareto distribution doesn't have to be 20/80, it can be 1/80 or something. It doesn't matter. The point is, like, this really small number of people does a lot of things. And so, like, this really small number of people actually may be more important than focusing on the population as a whole. And I think even they could benefit from some saving. I mean, like, I don't know, but I'm not precisely sure whether saving is so helpful for these people, but I do know that they shouldn't be struggling with finances, because they are the ones who are going to help us achieve as much wealth as possible. Them being innovative and good business people, and sort of making the market more efficient, that's bringing better and like more wealth, like as a general thing, as this thing that we want more of their stuff. So, I guess that's the whole point. Like, my frustration with the economics and generally maybe like the way we approach these things is like we don't really think about this, and it's going to be more important the more time goes on, especially as things get automated, to like give space to these people who have these ideas and who are as innovative as, I don't know, Elon Musk or something. And like give them as much opportunity to prosper as possible, because then we're all going to be better off. Like the person who first invented, I don't know, the 3D printer or something, like that's a more recent example. Like they did a lot, indirectly they did a lot of contribution. Like all of a sudden you didn't need to make all these things by hand, you could just print it out. And this technology is still evolving, and it's not in wide use because it's not as efficient as it could be. But like, I guess that's the whole point I wanted to make with that, like this whole huge tangent.
To be fair, we were never taught about how to be financially responsible. I mean,
that's true.
There was never something, I don't know, class or something called financial education, and I don't understand why. We're in 21st century, and it's not still. People don't still think about it. I don't know why. Most of our financial knowledge come from our parents, things we see on the internet, and our trial and error. I don't know, because
yeah.
at the end of the day, we're all just consumers. We see something we want, and then I'm gonna save money. There's a price tag on it. I'm gonna save that amount of money so I can buy it, and that's all. And all the other part, thinking about the future, how to allocate your income, and it's not thought about it. I don't know. You said also about this this one percenters that helps society. I also think they don't have enough freedom to not only express themselves, but to bring the value that they can bring with all the legislation and all the
right. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
I think you said we should give them more freedom, not also more freedom, but also a platform to help them. Not platform in the sense of YouTube or something like that, but platform itself, help them and give them resources so we can all prosper. And
yeah,
it's not so easy as we say it, of course, but that might help our society in the long term. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're talking. When you think about it, Mars and Elon Musk and all the technology in the recent years. I mean, we made a huge step. I'm a fan of him, and not really. I'm on I don't know if I like him.
Well, after the crypto stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes and no. I'm not sure where I stand with him. I do like what he's doing with technology and where we're going with it, but I saw, as I read online, in this few years we made a big step. I know when you think about it, Amazon and SpaceX trying to promote this space exploration. On the other side, there's I don't know if it's an American non-profit organization that works on cleaning the ocean. I don't know if you saw that.
There's a few of them.
They came up with technologies that can. They're working on it. So I saw, oh well, we're going somewhere with this, but there's not enough. There's not enough. Because we're just closing the people that can do stuff. They say no, you. I don't know how to put it. We don't give them enough freedom. Right?
Yeah.
Say that's it.
And I think part of what makes this situation unfortunately possible is we still we don't look enough at actual skill and whether somebody's right, and we more look at whether they have the right credentials or whether whether they say the right things. And it's sort of like that. I think that's sort of a conflict of interest between people who aren't skilled, but they have these other things, and they want their things to be admitted. It's like a conflict of interest.
We got stuck behind those I would call them
formalities and
you have to do this, you have to have this and that, for example, my sister is in Italy. Maybe it's not related that much, but you get stuck between these dumb rules. For example, my sister in Italy cannot go to work without the third dose of vaccine, and she is now eligible for a third vaccine dose, but she cannot get it because she's under 40 years old, but she needs it to go to work. So she needs the vaccine to go to work, but she cannot get it because she's under 40.
Yeah, that's just bureaucratic nonsense. Oh,
I don't know. People that want to do so, that they get stuck between those down formalities. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you ever tried something to do something, but when they start asking you for papers or
that's bureaucracy, and the problem is nobody can do anything about it because nobody has enough power to do anything in a sense. Okay, you want to make a change. It's just as hard to make a change as it is to try to do this thing that caused you to try to make a change. Because okay, you submit this to this person or that person, and that person is maybe too lazy or doesn't want that, and they don't agree, and there's this whole process that all these other papers have to be filled and everything has to be organized, and it's like this giant monster of a bureaucracy where if you want to get anything done, you need to wait years for it to get done.
If you look at it, it's kind of like legacy code and old code.
Legacy code. That's bureaucracy. Legacy software.
The things don't get upgraded, they don't get cleaned up, and it just keeps piling on.
Yeah, that's precisely it. Yeah.
Same thing. I think every now and then. Analogy. I think every now and then we should clean up the I don't know, the rule set, all the things that we need. How do you call it? Zakon.
Law.
I think we should every now and then they should revise, not the whole law, but we have laws that are here from the very beginning of every country has them. I think every now and then we should all not go through them and cleanse the ones that are not, because we just keep piling on new rules, and the old ones keep staying there, like legacy code.
Right. And you can't even clean it up, because to start cleaning it up, you still have to wait for years. And it's
yes.
And so you can't. Yes. So it's just blocked in bureaucracy, and this is the cause of a lot of our problems, because you can't adapt to new anything and change things when they're clearly not working. I mean, that's generally the problem. So yeah, I would say that's pretty good analogy. Like legacy code is clean it all up basically.
Okay, you have
Yeah.
you're gonna put it all under the rug, and one day it's gonna come out. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look at Facebook, right? Like, terrible.
Meta.
Meta. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that what an amazing analogy. I'm gonna use that, like legacy code.
Well, if you it's kind of really similar, I know.
Well, how long have we been? Let me just check. Like
That's almost.
Okay, 1 hour and 30
You wanna take
minutes.
a break?
Okay, we could take a break. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Should we do like 2 hours and then?
We can. I don't know. I think
You want to do more than that?
we can take a break and then try to do another half an hour,
Okay.
and then that's it.
I think if we start again, we're not gonna be able to stop that easily. Like okay, let's do half an hour more and then we have 2 hours. I mean that's standard. I mean that's not weird. Okay. So like we have another topic here, which is graphic cards. We kind of talked about that. I mean we talked about crypto and then computers and.
Well,
Well, your graphic cards. Okay, well I don't know.
Well, before we start with that, I don't know. I kind of wanted to talk about Mars and space.
Sure, go
space,
ahead.
Space exploration.
Sure,
I don't know, what do you think about it? I'm kind of excited. I'm so excited about it.
Mars.
Did they going so soon? I'm going on a tangent. The what is it called, the telescope?
Oh,
Was
James
it-
Webb. It's on
delayed.
Yeah, it was delayed. So this thing that was holding it, they were transporting the telescope, and something that was holding it broke off or something, and then I guess it hit the telescope or something, and then they were just checking whether everything worked. But they said everything is fine, and instead of the 18th of December, they're going to launch it on the 22nd of December. So that's pretty soon. I'm actually pretty hyped for James Webb.
I don't know. Everything about it, I'm so excited about it. I think it's going outside the boundaries of, I don't know, the atmosphere, or how to call it. It seems exciting to go out. We're gonna have to put in a lot of work, and I do believe that a lot of money is gonna go into that. And I don't know if I'm even gonna live to that moment where we're gonna be able to go to space, but I don't know.
You gotta have kids, so then.
Go to Mars. I don't know.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. This is how it felt to live maybe 150 years ago, when you moved into a new town and you just saw it growing, and you saw these new technologies and everything develop. But I guess we've done a lot of that work, and now it's kind of like I think we have this genuine deep need for these things to be happening, for something new and exciting, to breach these frontiers. And it's really a shame that so little of our money is going into these things when it is inspiring our imagination to such an extent. Like,
I don't know how you imagine it, but I recently watched Cowboy Bebop. It's an old anime, and I still didn't finish it. I have a few more episodes to watch, but I kind of wanted it to look that way. I mean, it's not gonna look that way like in the anime, but I was like, wow, maybe one day this could be us. I don't know, and it may be. It's not that technical. The anime is not that technical. It's like it's just when you look at it, it's just animation and fan fiction. But when you think about going through space, to other planets, I don't know. Imagine that. I'm going to my brother. He's just on Earth, and I'm coming from.
That kind of stuff is definitely cool, and space is one of those frontiers that has yet to be broken.
It opens so much more to us.
I mean it's pretty exciting, and James Webb specifically. I'm wondering how better will the pictures be, because apparently it's way better than.
I went to the NASA site, the website. And sometimes I lose myself in the pictures. I just keep watching, and they are all the same, because the pictures I don't know, it takes 10,000 pictures a day, and they're all the same. And I just and I just keep scrolling to them like, wow, it's.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I
It's
imagine
like-
how that telescope will help us in seeing even better pictures. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope one day I can see in real life, not in pictures, but.
yeah, it's definitely something to look forward to, and I'm excited about it as well. Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. And like I don't know when you think about all these things that we're spending our time on, but we don't even like. Like I guess we spend a lot of time on. Okay, actually, yeah, I guess this is not a topic for like this would be a very long topic, but
But you can
No,
say you
well,
can try it. If not, we can.
well, in the sense that like okay, we're doing all these things that like we're wasting our time on a lot of these things that we don't necessarily even enjoy. Like if you're constantly watching Netflix or something.
Yes.
I mean, like there's the point where which you start just feeling like it's so vapid and it's all the same, and it's like if only like humans were a little better at realizing what they want, then these projects would be way better off than they are.
Uh, you do have a point. You do have a point, and I think it's becoming more and more stale.
Yeah, things are. Oh, entertainment is definitely stale right now. Like,
It's
God, I don't remember. Like, when was the last movie that was like exciting?
Yeah,
like, that excited everybody. Like, I don't know, another Marvel movie or something.
we had a theory that me and a colleague that maybe will come on the show, Fran.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's another colleague. We have a lot of interesting people that maybe are gonna join us. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bigger group, but we had a theory together that it's probably with Marvel has probably an AI that just prints out scripts with
Oh, God.
the same cliche stuff. Okay, so this needs to happen and all needs to be because I watch a.
I can
Whenever-
imagine Franz saying this, and it's so funny. Like,
Whenever I see the movie, it's
it's the
a
same.
Marvel movie. I just say I'm never gonna watch a Marvel movie again. It's so cliche. I can tell what's gonna happen 10 minutes before it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Let's not talk about the ending because the ending of the movies because
Yeah.
not just
not
Marvel.
spoil.
A lot of movies, you know, the ending before it happens, but.
Oh, you mean that? Okay.
Yeah, but just the plot about what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a hero. Where's the entertaining? Where's the grind for the?
Yeah, it's all
There's no
based on this,
journey.
yeah, it's based on the same like
Cliche
formula.
stuff.
Yeah,
it's
like,
all the same formula.
and I guess movies ran for a while like on better effects, on better everything, but now they're not getting that much better in that area either, and so they're just kind of like, oh well, what are we gonna do even anymore? Like,
That's our. To get back on the things you said before that. Entertaining is getting kind of stale. That's maybe my opinion, but
I agree.
getting kind of stale because you said people don't have. I don't know if you said that with those words. Don't have ambitions, or they don't want. They don't know what they want, and I don't know.
yeah,
They get stuck in Netflix,
yeah,
and they just binge watch series, and after they binge watch one, they go to another, and there's not. Movie production companies cannot film as fast as someone can watch.
yeah, that's yeah, and then they're just pumping out stuff.
They're
yeah.
just pumping out, I don't know, stuff just to go out there, just to be there, just I don't know.
Right, that's a good point. Right, that's what drives a lot of this, and I think it drives it because well, first of all, the market has gotten a lot bigger, right?
Yeah, true. But
And
that's
centralized.
also driving the quality of production really really low.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, I think no, that it can't
It's
be that the
driving it
market has
down.
gotten better. It can't be that the market has gotten bigger. I I don't know exactly what the cause of this is, but yeah, that's definitely a problem. They're just pumping out stuff, and the thing about people who are watching like movie after movie and series after series, like they're not actually enjoying it. Like at some point, you don't even enjoy it anymore. It's just like this thing you're doing because I don't know, like
I
you're
caught
bored.
myself a couple of times saying, "Why am I watching it?" I just stopped.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so
Yeah, so it's that's definitely something that yeah, like people I think what gives people happiness, and people talk a lot about finding your happiness, blah blah. I think you can really pinpoint it down to being satisfied with your life, with who you are, and you can't do that without like being secure in being like, okay, this is going to sound specific, but being good at something. So like having a sort of trade, or like you see that people who are good at something, whether it was plumbing, or whether it was programming, or playing the guitar or something, when they are really good at something, and I mean really good, when they've dedicated their entire lives to it, you see them kind of happy because like they're sort of secure, they're confident in themselves. And these kinds of people, incidentally, also don't have a need to waste their time on these things because, they just have a direction in their life, which is this thing they love, this passion that they have. And I guess, like, not a lot of focus is put on that. Like, okay, but how much, like, nobody talks about how much happiness you're going to derive from being good at something. And, I think that's part of the problem because if you looked in the past, like, people would be working the fields, they would be working all the time, and they would be satisfied with their work. They would be working something that they could see results from. And a lot of our modern work is like an office job or studying or something where you can't see the consequences of your work at all, but you work based on your conscience, where you're like, oh, it's going to be really bad if I don't do this. Whereas when you're doing something more concrete, whether it was actually literally programming a program, you're like, I'm doing this because then the program is going to be complete and I'm going to be able to use it, and it's going to be this thing that I'm going to be able to feel and see working. It's like, yeah, binge watching is like just shows. I think it's something that like people lack direction because they don't have that direction that they could be having.
also people want to feel special without doing anything special. Not necessarily special. They try to. They try out, I think they see, oh, I'm gonna have to put a lot of effort in it if I wanna be good. And why am I gonna put a lot of effort when nobody is gonna appreciate that? They kind of also wanna be appreciated to on the things what they doing. I don't know. They wanna be a good guitar player. Nobody's gonna think you're a good guitar player if you know to play, I don't know, one thing, smoke on the...
Yeah. But that's also a problematic motivation because you're thinking like, I want to get respect. That's not exactly what gives you happiness, because then you're okay. You can derive happiness.
Not necessarily respect, but I don't know. It's like, oh, okay, so you play guitar, so okay, so just the association to okay, so you probably know how to play something, not like basic stuff. So if you are a guitar player, they have that expectation tied to that. And when they don't meet the expectation, they say, "Oh, so you don't know how to play the guitar?" And then
I was like, "Yeah," but that's the thing. Like, as a guitar player, you shouldn't be thinking, "What does this person think?" Whether they think I'm skilled or not. The healthy mindset is to just play the guitar because you like it, because you like growing in it, and it's, I guess this motivation of thinking about people to begin with is wrong, and it's unhealthy because you can derive happiness from that if they respect you or something for a while, but then that's not really it. You don't develop self-confidence from depending on other people like that. And people when they want the respect, or like being thought of as being skilled without actually being skilled, that's the motivation. The motivation is, oh, are they going to think highly of me? But that's so unhealthy. And I guess that my personal philosophy is like, I'm not over that, and like it's very hard to get over that. We're very social, but the idea is like, you shouldn't be trying to impress anybody. Like, Absolutely anybody, and that goes so deep. Like so many things that we're doing are related to that.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
so many, almost your entire life is basically what are people going to think of me. Like when you buy clothes, and I'm not gonna say this applies to all people, but most of the time, what that motivation really is am I going to be appealing to other people?
Yes.
And it's great to be appealing to the people that are great, right? You still want to be appealing. So like if we're all social, we want to socialize, but if you want to be appealing to really cool people who you're going to be able to hang out with and you're going to have fun with, and like people who are really good people, well then obviously it makes sense to also try to for them to see that you are like them, so obviously
Yeah.
you're going to want to try to impress them in some sense. But people are so focused on what everybody thinks and what the majority thinks, but like I think that makes no sense, because you're not going to derive your happiness from that. That's not your real motivation, and you're just kind of wasting your time. And in a way, to get back to clothing as this like general thing, so like the very cool people are like you're going to really enjoy hanging out with, depending on what kind of person you are. They're probably not going to care that much about what kind of clothing you wear.
True.
So what you're doing a lot of the time is you're trying to do this thing where you're thinking, what is the average person going to think of me? Or like, I don't know, this person that I don't even really like, but I just want to spite them and be better than them or something. Also sometimes, and fair enough, there's a lot of this like, what is the opposite sex going to think of me? And there's fair point, like obviously you want your partner to be attractive, so like I guess there's a point there in trying to be attractive, but still the point is like you're doing that to be attractive, but you're not like you're not deriving your happiness from whether this person is going to accept you or not. I think that's the healthy mindset that people should have more often than they don't. They think happiness is like, I don't know, traveling or something. It's not really it. Like, the happiest people don't necessarily maybe even travel, like, or have a lot of money, but they have like this deep security in themselves, and they you can't just fake you can fake confidence, but you can't fake your own estimation of yourself. Like you can be deluded, but
I think so. Confidence and happiness are really close, tied together. I don't
Right.
know. And so I'm for example, you said about clothing and stuff like that. I can also take as an example this wannabe podcast. So, for example, I find myself in your words because I'm trying to. I'm not really trying to stick out, but I'm trying to different clothes, not to appeal to others, but I'm trying to take something that's not so common, not necessarily to stick out, but just to build my confidence. Because I don't know, if you put a bright yellow jacket, you're walking through the streets and everybody's gray, and you walk with that and everybody's looking at you, and you're kind of ashamed what everybody's looking at. And I'm trying to do that to build my confidence. Also with this, we're both not native English speakers, and my English is not the best. So with this, I'm also trying to build confidence. I know. So
and you're practicing pronunciation as well. Like it's generally a good thing no matter what.
Yes, and with building confidence, you easier getting into something. I don't know, and when it's easier to get into something, I don't know how to connect it, but you get happier because something does not pose you a problem. The thing you said, appealing to others, because you're confident, you don't care what they think, and so you want to do it because you want to, and you're happy because you're doing it, not because they're saying you're good at it, or because they're saying you're good at it or you're bad at it. I don't know how to put it other than like this. I mean, you try different stuff. You kind of see if you like it. If you don't, if people say we in this part of Europe, we're constantly reminded of the thing you said. What are people gonna think about this? This area is particularly, in my opinion, it constantly reminds of that. And
I mean,
we're
yeah,
living in some kind of fear that something is gonna happen, and I can relate to that in some kind of way. I'm trying to get out of it. Everybody's trying to get out of that, but it's
fear
not easy.
related of what?
To
what is going to happen related to what?
To what are people gonna think about me?
Oh, you mean that?
Yeah. So you're trying to build confidence so you can, so you can be happy. I don't know, because when you're constantly thinking about what people are gonna think about you, you're not happy.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're really not.
That's the thing that I was missing. Not caring is not gonna make you happy, but caring that's for sure that's gonna make you sad. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it had some use in the past, in the sense, like, if you were living in a really small village and you all depended on each other to survive, obviously it was really important to be in good relation with everybody. But things have changed a lot since then, and we're not living in the same conditions anymore. You're not working this farm job where, everything is so much simpler and you can derive a lot of happiness from your work. You're living in a sort of weird place where things are so out of shape for what you evolved for, and in that kind of environment, it's definitely especially bad to be super neurotic about what others are thinking about you. And again, it's not others as in everybody, but like this blob of this like abstract blob of people, which is everybody that you're trying to impress. That's the like, people devote their entire lives to this. Like, when you like trying to, you have a lot of these people. I think very ambitious people are actually susceptible to this, especially. Like, I had this friend in well, I still have, but he used to be so neurotic about like what everybody's thinking about, and his current path in life is literally like trying to get the most credibility possible so that the average person could respect them the most, and they're devoting their entire life to this. But like, if they don't even have the time to become actually skilled at something. And so what you see about skilled people, I would say that there's a correlation between skilled people and good people, in the sense that there's going to be a lot of frauds in the people who aren't skilled but have high status. And if somebody is a fraud in one way, they're going to be a fraud in other ways. So if they frauded their way into something that deserves less respect than they have, it's very likely that they're not going to be a good person per se. Like, they're not going to be somebody you want to hang out with, not only because they are so obsessed with what people are thinking about them and so will not treat you as a friend, but also because they have this like tendency to fraud things out. And the thing about these people is that even though they have these high positions, a lot of them have imposter syndrome. And this is like, they are aware on like okay, in some sense they think of themselves as way less capable than they are. And in some ways that is actually true for a lot of these people.
Yes.
But also, like, okay, in some sense maybe like they're exaggerating or something, like they're still probably pretty smart or something. But like, I guess like a lot of these people have imposter syndrome, and it makes sense why they do that. They do have that because, again, they didn't develop that confidence, which comes from really realizing or like developing and focusing on a skill in life, on something that you're good at, something that you can see like you're really good at, something that you enjoy. And I guess the last thing I would say about this, and I'm not going to bother with this anymore, like the last thing I'm going to say about that is maybe on some sense, in order to develop that deep confidence, in order to stop caring what everybody thinks, on some level you kind of have to get disillusioned with how people are, like in the sense that you don't really think of people as highly. You're sort of like, okay, well, I'm trying to do these things, and people are focusing on all these stupid things, and they're actually kind of incapable, and you're like, well,
I
like
what you're saying.
Developing confidence sort of includes like thinking of a lot
degrading,
of people as,
but not really degrading.
not degrading, but sort of giving up on them.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that necessarily that's a bad thing. Like maybe there's something in that. If a lot of people don't want to try, and if they're pulling you down because of all these stupid things, I mean, you have to get disillusioned in some sense. Because why would you be unhappy with what people are thinking of you? Well, because most of the time those things are stupid things that don't really matter. And so I guess like I think a lot of confident people are actually a little bit misanthropic. Like so they kind of don't like people. As this abstract thought, as this like huge blob of people, the average person, right? So yeah, this is like a bit of a tangent again, but yeah,
I think we can end this.
Yeah, so we filled the 30 minutes, didn't we?
I don't know if we did, but I think it's
20 minutes.
A good place to start.
Well,
I'm starting to lose concentration.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's been a long time, 2 hours.
Yeah, it's for the first time.
Yeah. So, right. So this is the first sort of podcast. I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna watch this, but if you came to the end, congrats. I'm glad. He's glad. Hopefully, the people from our chat who are later going to join are actually going to watch this, right?
Yeah,
they could at least watch this at 2 times
at
speed.
least 15 minutes. Wait,
the first 2 hours. I think the first 20 minutes were kind of boring, but then it got interesting.
Probably. I hope.
What were we talking about?
I don't really remember. I hope in the future we're gonna try to make this podcast a little bit more structured.
Yeah, organized.
Or more organized.
Yeah.
So, other than that,
somebody's gonna have to lead and look at the time and like, okay, we gotta change the topic.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you've talked about this enough. I get it. I get it. Confidence. All right. Let's switch the topic.
Also, not only time, but I hope also we get better at speaking, so it's easily so it's easy to listen to us, not only.
Yeah, we will get that definitely
with
over time.
With
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching this.
Yeah.
Unnamed podcast.
We're gonna name it something
at some point.
We gotta make a YouTube channel or something, upload it. Right?
We're gonna get some topics, various topics from. We're all different people. So all the people that we hope join, we're all so different. So
yeah. Like we really are all different. Like
so we're gonna have other inputs, not only ours.
Yeah, Ivan was supposed to be here today, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
Terrible. He's gonna get it, like But yeah, like there's topics like calisthenics and
veganism, nutrition.
Well, there's also like mobile app development. Like Fran does that. That's a pretty interesting topic to get into.
I think it's gonna be pretty tech related.
Yeah.
We're gonna have other topics also, but that's our how do you say?
Well, I mean,
that's the knot that ties us together.
Right. We are studying what we are, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna end the recording on this thing over here.
That's it from us.
Yeah.